Our next demo today is Top Asset Management Challenges of 2021 and how to solve them with iOffice. Alex Carter, Product Marketing Manager of iOffice, will deliver this information. Alex, over to you.
All right, thanks everybody. My name is Alex Carter. I'm here to talk to you about some of the top asset management challenges of 2021 and how you can solve them. So with this presentation, I'm going to advance one slide. So with this presentation, I'm going to go through a handful of business challenges that we've observed. You've probably experienced them yourself, or someone on your team might have experienced them firsthand. So we're going to go through those business challenges and see how they impact your business and its operations. Then with each one of those examples, we're going to go through and we're going to see a different way to approach it and eliminate some of those headaches that might be occurring dealing with these business challenges over and over again. So the first example I wanted to point out, clicking a little too fast, sorry, is say you're faced with a situation where you have been told, hey, the forklift's broken, you need to go out there and fix it. And you're facing a view of what looks like a bunch of identical assets. So figuring out which is the asset you need to work on and going one by one, it's going to be somewhat of a manual process unless you know where you parked the vehicle or the asset in question before. So you're going to be going asset by asset, comparing the asset ID to the one that you were told to go fix. And it's just going to be a somewhat manual process. It's going to be easy to miss a detail. And overall, it's just a little bit of a hassle. But if there was a easier way to go about it, where you could walk up to the asset in question, and instead of having to compare a long asset ID or something along those lines, you're able to just take a look at the QR code associated with it and scan it to bring up the relevant info. You're going to be speeding up the process and getting to the answers a lot quicker. So instead of going through that manual process, checking everything, you can go one by one and just scan the asset and immediately know whether or not you're on the right one, or if you need to keep searching and scan a different one. So from scanning that asset, you'll pull up all the relevant details you need in order to verify where you are and if you're working on the correct asset. Furthermore, with that particular process, you can see a picture of the asset in question. You get to see the ID of it. What I find particularly useful is you get to see if there's active work outstanding on the asset in question. So I scan the asset, I see there's active work. I know this is the one I've got to get to work on. But then also I can take a look at the historical work and see, what all has been done on this asset. What's its history? What were some of the issues it was facing before? Additionally, beyond those details, you get to see all the recent inspection results. And should you need to create a work order on this particular asset, you can do it directly from the screen. So with this capability, you're able to verify the work is being performed on the correct asset right from the start. Instead of comparing lengthy IDs, you're just scanning a code and immediately getting feedback whether or not it's the right one. And then most importantly, you're carrying all the details of the asset in question, as well as the assets at that particular site in your pocket. So you're never losing track of important information you need in order to get the job done. Let me advance one slide. So another situation you might have experienced or be familiar with are daily inspections. So whether you're performing daily inspections on your manufacturing equipment, within your facility, or wherever you are, this particular example, I'm going to choose a fleet to illustrate. But you have to prove compliance. You have to be able to show that you're inspecting the assets in question, and you got to keep your workforce safe. So you might be familiar with these paper inspections, going through, verifying the vehicle is safe, going and checking off all the tires, everything. So with this traditional process, you fill out this form, and then it's going to spend a little bit of time sitting in a stack, hopefully not too long, but the paper eventually has to be processed. So you've got a little bit of a delay there. It's changing hands, going onto a stack of paper. then it's going to change hands once more, and eventually be entered into your central system for managing all the assets. And then should there have been an issue with that asset in question, it's really only at the stage where you're entering it into the computer that you can identify that there was an issue with the asset and then perform the corrective action by getting a work order assigned to that asset that had a defect. So with this process, you're experiencing delays on the asset. If there's an issue, the corrective action is taking place after a handful of delays, a handful of transfers of information. And overall, it's just a little more time spent when we could just be going directly to the inspection and fixing it from the start. So with Manager Plus, what we do is we empower the operator of the asset in question to perform the inspections all from their mobile device. With a number of different inspection templates, you can ensure that the right questions are being asked and the operator is going through the vehicle and inspecting everything as they should be. But with this example, should there be an issue with the asset, they're able to say, no, the tires are not safe to drive on. I'm going to fail this inspection. And you're immediately able to, depending on the severity of that failed inspection, trigger the required corrective action right from that device. So the moment I mark it as failed, the rest of my team is notified in real time, and we can get a work order created to address that asset. So instead of waiting until the end of the day or at a later point in time for that information to be uploaded and then eventually analyzed and then processed and then the work order be created, you're able to cut out all those middle steps and get right to the corrective action to get your assets online a lot faster. Additionally, with this process, because it's changing less hands and there's less delays, you're going to reduce the opportunity for data entry errors. My wife is a doctor and I know her handwriting is definitely not the best. So if there's bad handwriting, there's a lot of opportunities for errors to occur with the pen and paper process. This takes out a lot of those opportunities and mitigates that risk. So another thing that you might have encountered is just generally knowing the status of an asset. So, did we change the oil on that car? Did we check the fluid levels on that equipment? And generally, you're going to be asking your coworkers about it. If you've got files on hand, you're going to be searching through those. And hopefully the weather outside isn't that bad, but should there be some bad weather, you might have to go outside and manually check the asset in question. All that's a little bit of a time consuming process, and there is a better way with Manager Plus. So instead of going through this traditional way of just seeking out the information, you're able to pull up all the asset history and the status and get it all summarized in this great view within Manager Plus Lightning. So I'll kind of walk through this screen a little bit and show some of the information that you'll see and how it can help you out. So starting from the left, you're able to see some of the upcoming and the past due maintenance plans, whether you've got preventative maintenance on a monthly, quarterly schedule. You're able to take a look at everything that's being performed there. If anything's past due and you need to get on it and remind somebody, all that information's at hand. You're able to get a good look at the asset in question with pictures of it provided to you, so you can distinguish one between another. You can take a look at the asset status, if it's up or if it's down and it needs to be repaired. You'll see that here. You're also able to get a good look at the usage and the utilization of the asset in question over time. So depending on historical information, you can compare this asset's usage towards your average and compare this performance versus others on your in your fleet or under your management. Additionally, you're able to get a sense of how much of the work is reactive versus preventive. So running equipment to failure is a very common practice, but if you're able to get ahead of the failure and prevent it from going down in the first place, you're often able to extend the lifespan of that asset. So this will help you keep a monitor on how much of the maintenance is reactive versus how much is your preventive maintenance schedule, getting ahead of these issues and actually keeping the asset online and reducing those downtime opportunities. You're also able to visualize the expenses and the total cost of ownership with the asset in question. So this one's particularly useful if you're just trying to get a sense of, is this asset working for me? Is it making me money? And where are my costs coming from? So depending on where the costs are, you're able to click in and understand where the big expenses are incurring and get a better understanding and better visibility into what costs are being applied towards this asset. And then finally, you're able to plan out your future work and account for the current work that's already on the calendar with this calendar view at the bottom. And so you can divvy out work orders on this schedule and see everything that is tied to this asset from a work order perspective. So a lot of information here, and it's all available at your fingertips, all from the desktop. Another situation you might have experienced is organizing, coordinating requests across the company. So depending on where the request comes from, it could be, a text from your boss. It could just be an email giving you vague instructions about, hey, the car is broken, I need some help. Hopefully this isn't the case, but you might have a sticky note hidden somewhere on your desk with further vague instructions on something that needs to be fixed. In order to handle the requests and get the job done and address everything that your company is bringing up to you, we have the approach of coordinating within what we call the request portal. So the request portal is a customized website that we would make for every company, and it allows for you to empower your employees to work with you and request everything on this one consolidated platform so that you can track all the requests easier. You're able to require the right amount of information so that you can actually address the concern that was raised and eliminate some of those follow-up questions. So say someone's walking by and they see the AC unit is leaking, but they wouldn't know how to address it. This request portal gives you the ability to say, hey, if you see anything wrong in anywhere in the business, you go onto this website, you specify where you are, you say what help you need with, what is the help you need, and you get to specify, everything you're seeing. So it's you provide all the right information in order for somebody that is able to address that problem and coordinate a fix. And most importantly, with this feature, we give everyone unlimited requesters throughout the company because we really want to empower everyone within your organization to work with you, get the requests on one platform. And then furthermore, it's going to give them feedback at the end of the day that, hey, the thing I requested is actually been addressed. I've gotten confirmation, and there's a bit more satisfaction there knowing that requests aren't falling off and people are having their requests handled. The final situation I'll walk you through is, there's a lot of different roles in an organization, but really not everyone needs the same amount of access. So really, depending on the role you're in, you really only want the right amount of information to get the job at the task at hand completed. If you're overburdened with extra information, it could be confusing. You could be wondering why you have it. So really what we've done is we've taken a look at the various roles throughout the organizations, and we've developed our software to work with you to have the ideal experience depending on what your work function is. So depending if you're a maintenance manager and you want to see a bit more of the management capabilities, some of the reporting, if you're a technician, you're just wanting to get to work on the asset in question, fix stuff and move on to the next one. Or if you're the asset operator and you really just need to get your inspection done and get on the road, we empower you with the different types of licenses and different ways of accessing the same Manager Plus Lightning platform. So with that, maintenance managers would be our closest to a fully named user. You get complete access to the entire platform. So all the reporting capabilities, but then also all the organizational capabilities that are associated. So you can keep your workforce coordinated. You can assign out work orders, set up preventive maintenance schedules. anything you need to do, the named user has full access. Now, depending if you're going out and about and you're actually fixing the assets in question, you'd be more closely associated with a mobile user in that kind of technician role. So as I was talking about earlier, showing you the power of being able to scan an asset and get right to work, the mobile user is able to carry all the asset information along with them right in their pocket. They have a full schedule of their day. They're able to coordinate there. And should additional work orders be needed, they can do it all from their mobile device. And then finally, with the asset operator, we have the operator companion app, which allows you to complete inspections and report issues on assets in real time and get that information relayed to the rest of the company. So with Manager Plus, we really have a software that was built around you and your needs. We looked at the roles in the organization and we looked at how we can integrate everybody into the solution, how we can give them the right amount of information and eliminate any confusion, make it super easy for everybody to adopt the software and get a lot of value on it. And when I say the software is built around you and your needs, I truly mean it. Our new features are constantly in production, and we really depend on our customers' needs, what they're requesting, and what they're looking for in terms of an asset management solution. So depending on the features that are requested from our customer base, we work with them and prioritize those into our product roadmap so that we're building the most value for our customers and that the software will provide everything it needs to our customers. Now, I mentioned a handful of features today, but this solution really does encompass all aspects of asset management in one software. We have a number of features. Unfortunately, if I was to go one by one and talk through every one of the features, I think I would have taken up the entire demo environment's time. So in order to learn a bit more about it and in order to learn about how Manager Plus can help you and help your business, I'd encourage you to come reach out to us at managerplus.iofficecorp.com. If you request a personalized demo, we can talk to you about your business, how you're operating today. And we can also, we can also show how this is going to provide the most value for you. All right, and I believe at this point I can take some questions.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alex. Again, to ask a question, please just navigate to the Q&A bar at the bottom of your screen. And the first question is, what does the onboarding process look like?
Sure. So depending on how much help you need for onboarding, we provide a number of different levels. So if you are more than happy to audit your assets, all the parts and everything, we can leave that up to you. But if you'd like a more hands-off approach, we also do full site on-site audits, and we will come and audit all your equipment, all your parts, and get that loaded into the database for you so you can focus on your day job and not building up a database, and let our experts do that for you.
Okay, thanks. Next question, how are MP, Hippo, and team related to iOffice? Are there functions and features included in the iOffice IWMS?
Yeah, so Manager Plus and Hippo CMMS are the two asset maintenance solutions that we have under our iOffice umbrella. So iOffice is our parent company. iOffice and team deal with more workplace management and solutions for those industries, whereas Manager Plus and Hippo CMMS are going to deal with the asset maintenance. All one company, depending on what level of need you have for asset maintenance, we'll either suggest, Hippo CMMS or Manager Plus should you need the more feature-rich environment.
Okay, thanks. Another question, how does the product team prioritize upcoming features?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning on that last slide, the product team is looking at the suggestions from our customer base, as well as where the industry is heading and what's going to provide the most value for everybody. So depending on what our customers need and the trends in the industry, we're going to prioritize those features and get the most value to our customers. So we work really closely with the customers on this process. As a new feature is being developed, you have the opportunity to work with us and test it out and provide feedback to improve it. So it's a very collaborative process with our customers should they want to. If they just want to suggest something and leave the testing and all the further feedback to everybody else, that's also totally fine. It's just we work with our customers to accommodate their needs.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
And then any final thoughts for our audience before we move on to our final demo for today?
I just want to thank everybody for the time and the opportunity to speak with y'all. I know Manager Plus can provide a lot of value for your organization. Please don't hesitate to reach out and we can get you sorted with a demo. I'm very excited to share the rest of the features that we've got with y'all. So thank you so much for the time, and I look forward to speaking with y'all.